Hey guys, so first off, I just want to say Happy New Year to all of you. Keeping in mind that you live only once, life is short, rules are meant to be broken, and having fun and creating memories is all that truly matters. Today I'm going to talk about fate of two betraying northern houses, about the fate of two northern noble houses that fought for Ramsay Bolton against Jon Snow, and his forces in the Battle of the Bastards, Jon's forces which contain mostly free folk, aka the Wildlings, along with the other minor northern houses loyal to House Stark, which were House Mormont, House Hornwood, House Mazin, and as a savior of the day, House Arryn. Those two houses that betrayed House Stark and fought for House Bolton in the Battle of the Bastards are House Karstark and House Umber. Now, when Jon is proclaimed as the king in the north, there are important decisions that Jon has to make, important decisions about fate of those two betraying houses. Also, we need to consider the fact that the North has never been weak as now. A few noble houses of the North are extinguished, a lot of other houses are weak, while the new Northerners, the Wildlings, are also almost extinguished. Jon's decision won't be easy to make at all. House Karstark and House Umber are one of the oldest noble houses in the North, but Jon still has to punish them greatly since they tried to destroy House Stark, while House Umber is also guilty for Rickon's death. Let's start with fate of House Karstark. After the Battle of the Bastards, House Karstark is possibly extinct vassal house that held fealty to House Stark of Winterfell until the execution of Lord Rickard Karstark. It's also an interesting fact that House Stark and House Karstark have the same blood, since Carl Stark, who was younger son of the king in the north, was awarded with lands of the eastern region of the north after putting down a rebellion of House Bolton, which happened about 1,000 years ago. Over the time, Carl's seat, known as Carl's Hold, became known as Carhold, and the Carhold Starks became known as Karstarks. In the first season, when Robb called his banners to march south to rescue his father Eddard Stark, House Karstark was loyal to House Stark and was among Robb's army. Also in the first season, Haryon Karstark, the eldest son of Rickard Karstark, died in the beginning of the war in one of the first battles. During the second season and during Robb's campaign in the Westerlands, Robb took with him an army of 6,000 cavalry, of which half of this army was made up by Karstark soldiers. During the second season, second son of Lord Rickard Karstark, Torrhen Karstark, was killed by Sir Jaime Lannister during an escape attempt. Later, Jaime was recaptured and nearly killed by several Karstark soldiers, frustrated by Torrhen's death. After arguing with Lord Rickard Karstark, Catelyn Stark released Jaime and ordered Brienne of Tarth to deliver him safely to King's Landing, in hope that in return, Jaime would release her daughters. In the third season, as an act of revenge against House Lannister, Lord Rickard Karstark, the Lord of Carhold, braked into dungeons of Riverrun and murdered Marthain and Willem Lannister, which led Robb to execute Lord Karstark under the charges of treason, which in my opinion was a stupid act of Robb. Stupid act which resulted with Robb losing great size of the Northern army, which resulted with Robb losing war, and also because of this, the Karstarks along with the Boltons had their armies intact following the Red Wedding. After all of these events, Harold Karstark, the youngest son of Rickard Karstark and younger brother of Haryon and Torrhen Karstark, became the new head of House Karstark. Harold declared his support to House Bolton, the new great house of the north, as the result of Robb executing his father. Later, Harold answered to Rose's call for help after Sansa Stark's escape from Winterfell against eventual Lannister retribution. Harold Karstark also pledged allegiance to Rose's son, Ramsay Bolton, after Ramsay killed his father, along with stepmother and stepbrother, and took over the control over the north. Harold Karstark participated in the battle against the forces of Jon Snow. Furthermore, Harold led the cavalry charge when Jon was standing all by himself in the middle of the battlefield. Harold with his cavalry was seemingly wiped out during the initial clash with the Stark cavalry, ironically due in large part of Ramsay ordering his own archers to fire on them. But however, HBO's viewer guide doesn't list Harold Karstark as deceased, which could mean that Harold survived the battle. Even if Harold Karstark survived, he's going to be executed for his treason. There is no doubt about it, but the important decision that Jon will have to make is what to do with House Karstark's lands and titles. It's most likely that lands, castle and titles of House Karstark will be divided between Stark's loyal houses. Maybe the history is going to repeat, maybe Jon will set Tormund as Lord of Carhold to command with former Karstark's lands were his wildlings, just like thousands years ago when Carlin was awarded with those same lands after he also put it down Bolton's rebellion. Now, let's focus on fate of House Umber. Just like House Karstark, House Umber also rely behind House Stark in the War of Five Kings, with Grigin Umber behind the first to suggest crowning Robb Stark as a king in the north, and knelt before him, while after the Red Wedding it was unknown what happened to him, since he was not attending during the Red Wedding. In Season 6, Smelljin Umber, the eldest son of Jon Umber, became the head of House Umber after his father died and refused to pledge fealty to House Bolton, but asked Ramsay Bolton to join forces with him to fight the free folk that had been let into the realm by Jon Snow. The main reason of Smelljin asking Ramsay to help him fight wildlings is because of the fact that the seat of his house, which is the last heart, is far north, close to the wall, which gave Smelljin fear of wildlings' invasion. Smelljin Umber disliked House Bolton, but eventually sided with Ramsay to drive out the thousands of wildlings that Jon Snow allowed to pass through the wall. To seal the alliance between House Umber and House Bolton, Smelljin hands over Rickon Stark and Osha to Ramsay, while he also presented the head of Rickon's direwolf, Shaggy Dog, as a proof of boy's identity. If you don't remember, Bran Stark sent his brother Rickon, Osha and Shaggy Dog to seek shelter at the Last Hearth, the seat of House Umber, because he thought the Umbers saw loyal bannerman of the Starks. At first, Ramsay questioned Smelljin's motives, since the Umbers were famously loyal to House Stark, but Smelljin countered the House Karstark has Stark blood. But still, Harold Karstark became new Ramsay's lieutenant. Smelljin also revealed to Ramsay that Jon Snow has led the wildling army south of the Wall, which was bad news for the Umbers since their castle is further north than any other castle. While the Umbers were forced to fight the wildlings first, something that Smelljin once enjoyed, but this time it was different. There were too many wildlings, and in his opinion, Smelljin had to request Ramsay's help, which led him to swear fealty to Ramsay. In the Battle of the Bastards, Smelljin led the Bolton spearmen, who formed a wall around the Stark army. After the Stark army was surrounded by the spearmen, as we all know, Smelljin climbed the wall of bodies to fight in a circle, beginning with slaying an injured wildling who was attempting to escape. He fought his way to Jon Snow, but was swept away by the crowd before they could fight. Smelljin then came face to face with Tormund and almost killed him, but was distracted by the arrival of Knights of Vale, which gave Tormund enough time to bite his neck and tear out his throat, and then repeatedly stabbing him in the face. With Smelljin's death, the status of House Umber is uncertain. While House Karstark's castle, lands and titles will be most likely assigned to Stark's loyalists, same will happen to House Umber's lands, castle and titles. If you're wondering, what if those two betraying houses have young siblings and their heirs? Well, if they have heirs, their lands, castles and titles are still going to be divided to those who fought for Jon Snow, while to their young siblings and their heirs, again, if there are ones, will happen the same what happened to Theon Greyjoy. After his father rebelled and lost, they will become hostages. While a lot of Game of Thrones fans are saying that Jon doesn't have an army to support any of his decisions, I don't agree with them. Jon has support of houses which set out of conflict, which means that those houses have full army strength, such as the Manderleys, the Servants, and the Glovers, which means that Jon has more than enough men to support any of his decisions in the north. You might say that Jon also has support of House Arryn, but you need to be careful about it. Yes, their lord is Robin Arryn, but Peter Baelish is the one in charge of House Arryn, since he is manipulating with Robin, as we have seen few times. It's a fact that Peter Baelish convinced Lord Robin Arryn to use the Knights of Vale to help his cousin Sansa Stark after escaping the clutches of Ramsay Bolton, while Robin at first didn't want to. Littlefinger played a big role in Jon's victory. Actually, if Peter Baelish didn't decide to help Jon, Ramsay Bolton would have been still alive and would have been in charge of Winterfell, while Jon would have been dead. But don't think that Littlefinger came to save Jon. Peter Baelish came with Knights of Vale to set up Sansa Stark as a ruler of Winterfell, while he failed to accomplish his main goal. In conclusion, Jon will have to make some big decisions about fate of two big noble houses that betrayed House Stark and fought for House Bolton. In my opinion, Jon will execute Harold Karstark for his treason if he even survived the battle, while castles, lands and titles of House Bolton, House Karstark and House Umber will be divided to Tormund, Davos, Peter Baelish and other loyal houses. What's your opinion on all of this? What do you think Jon is going to do with all the castles, lands and titles of all those treacherous houses? Do you think that Peter Baelish is going to be satisfied with getting one of castles and with a few titles? Do you think that Littlefinger helped Jon only to get that title? I don't think so. Peter Baelish wanted to set up Sansa as a ruler of Winterfell, even maybe as a queen in the north, which she is by the rights, at least until Bran's survival. There are also questions like, why did Littlefinger even help Sansa to take the Winterfell? Well, from the very beginning, it was all Peter's game. Littlefinger put Sansa in Ramsay's hands in the first place only because he knew that it's going to give him a chance to, let's call it, save her and to help her retake the Winterfell, which would give him support of the North once he set up Sansa as the queen in the North, which he almost accomplished, and then if he would marry her, it would bring him the Northern army. This part he hasn't accomplished, at least not yet. Bran's arrival also raises a lot of questions, which I'm going to bring you guys in my future videos. Also, you can expect in a few weeks from me to bring you a video about Peter Baelish's, aka Littlefinger's fate in the upcoming season. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel, and yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.